What's up guys? Hope you are doing well. Welcome back to Fact Zone. In today's video, we are going to talk about some of the unknown facts about countries that are no more. Alright, let's begin. Cherokee Nation. The Cherokee Nation was an official North American tribal government recognized until 1907. It was located in what is now the state of Oklahoma. Its people generally called it the Nation, and it had strong cultural roots that were virtually wiped out by the United States. Before Oklahoma became a state, the land rights of the Cherokee Nation became extinct, and the Cherokee people were forced to reorganize elsewhere. In some cases, the Cherokees were taken as slaves, although they were later emancipated after the Civil War. All Cherokees were therefore considered to be U.S. citizens. Until July 9, 2020, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that some Native American nations, including the Cherokee Nation, had never actually disbanded. Czechoslovakia. After the end of World War I in 1918, Bohemia, Moravia, and Slovakia were combined in Central Europe to form Czechoslovakia. From 1939 to 1945, it was partially incorporated into Nazi Germany and ceased to exist as a state, though its government in exile remained in operation. During the Cold War, it became part of the Eastern Bloc. Gran Colombia. Where Colombia, Panama, Venezuela, and Ecuador now exist, there once was a larger country known as Gran Colombia. It only existed from 1819 to 1830, but it was fairly powerful while it did. It was the largest country in Spanish America, but European countries opposed its territorial claims. Hawaii. Hawaii has been a country of its own for centuries, known as the Kingdom of Hawaii. However, it was not officially recognized as an independent nation until 1840. Two families ruled in Hawaii, known as the House of Kamehameha and the House of Kalakaua. They have traded with many modern nations and with the United States as their main trading partners for years. East Germany and West Germany. It is almost difficult to understand how Germany, today a prosperous unified nation, was completely divided not so long ago. It took nearly 30 years for the wall to finally be lifted in 1990 and for reunification to take place, helping to mark the end of the Cold War. Today, a visit to Berlin promises a fascinating insight into this history. The East Side Gallery, a portion of the wall with more than 100 large format paintings, serves as an impressive symbol of hope and is not be missed. El Strado. El Strenado technically still exists, but today it's called Paraguay. The name El Strenado only lasted for 35 years between 1954 and 1989, when the country was ruled by a dictator called Alfredo Stroessner. In recent years, Iraq has opened some ancient Babylonian ruins to visitors, but only about 2% of the ancient city has been excavated. Neutral Moresnet. In 1830, Belgium took over from the Netherlands. When zinc ran out in the late 19th century, there were efforts to generate cash from casinos and the issuance of commemorative stamps. But nothing has stopped. An attempt by local Wilhelm Molly to establish neutral Moresnet at the first Esperanto-speaking nation also failed. When Prussia lost in World War I, the country became part of Belgium. Burma. Most of the other former British colonies became members of the British Commonwealth. Burma, however, has established a bicameral parliament, which includes a Chamber of Deputies and a Chamber of Nationalities. However, some ethnic groups within the country pushed for federalism, and the army staged a coup in 1962. In 1989, the name of Burma was officially changed to Myanmar. In fact, it's the same country, just with a different name. Basutoland. In 1868, Basutoland was the independent African kingdom, became a British colony, and was renamed the territory of Basutoland. The kingdom remained intact for the next 100 years, until it gained independence from Britain in 1966 and became Lesotho. Today, Lesotho is ruled by a constitutional monarchy complete with a royal family. Along with the Vatican and San Marino, it is only one of 3 countries in the world to be surrounded by another country, in this case, South Africa. California. Californians have talked about forming their own country, but no one has given the idea much credibility. In 1846, however, California was a country of its own. The Republic of California, also known as the Bear Flag Republic, was a rebellious state of Mexico. It was launched by 33 American immigrants who were upset that they had not been allowed to buy or lease land or were threatened with deportation even though none of them had been legally admitted to the country. The Mexican government was anxious about the uprising due to the simultaneous outbreak of the Mexican-American War, but the Republic of California was not a great threat. Although their leaders have elected military officers, this is as far as they have gone. Ceylon. The history of this island state dates back to the late 6th century BC, when the Sinhalese arrived. That group lived peacefully on the land until a southern Indian dynasty seized power and established the Tamil Kingdom in the 15th century. But the conquering was far from over. Over the next 2 centuries, Ceylon was occupied by the Portuguese and then the Dutch, until ceding to British control in 1796. The Brits ruled until Ceylon became independent in 1948. Newfoundland. After the Great Depression left the nation's economy in tatters, it voluntarily reverted to a British colony in 1934. Finally, in 1949, it became part of Canada. Today, although its waters have been greatly depleted of the cod stocks that originally fueled the local economy, Newfoundland remains well known for its caviar and ecotourism ventures. New Granada. The New Kingdom of Granada, or New Granada, was a collection of Spanish colonial provinces in South America. It was originally a segment of the Viceroyalty of Peru, but a separate kingdom was established in 1549 called the Audiencia of Santa Fe. In 1717, it became part of the Viceroyalty of New Granada. Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was a country that governed a sizable portion of southeastern Europe, Asia, and Africa from the 14th throughout 20th centuries, also known as the Turkish Empire. It was founded around 1300 AD by a Turkish tribal leader named Osman I. Its power slowly weakened over the centuries. It died out completely in 1923 post-World War I when Turkey declared its independence. Persia. Technically, Persia still exists, but today it is called Iran. The Persian Empire stretched from the Mediterranean Sea to India. The first Persian Empire was one of the largest in human history. It was led by Cyrus the Great from 550 BC. It wasn't until around 1935 that Persia became known as Iran. Technically, Iran is just a formal name for Persia, but most people are unaware of the country's long roots. Mesopotamia. Its most famous city and capital, Babylon, is considered the cradle of literature and writing and has been home to mythical hanging gardens, which are listed among the 7 wonders of the world. The region fell around the 7th century ADC. Today, its territory is occupied by eastern Syria, southeastern Turkey, and most of Iraq. With that being said, it's time to end our video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing updates. Thanks for watching!